Yeah, Nina.
Bite the bullet.
One title, 3 albums. Let's talk Keed's 3-in-1 project. 17 songs, which boils down to 5 songs per section, and 2 that sort of fits depending on where it's found on the albums. From Imposter Syndrome,
Kid, I wanna be like you when I
the production shifts from the purest of hip-hop to this mixed bag of genres. Imposter Syndrome is perfectly placed to help with the break, so this is neither entirely part of Bites or the. It's a song that falls in the spacing between the two words, making it both a tonic and the ailment. I fully expected the project to sound the way it does from Imposter Syndrome. So feel a little. Feel a little. Feel a little. Feel a little. One friend reminded me about this project, and I told him I doubted it would be what he expects, and sure enough, he did quit listening, but way too early if it didn't reach this point. Imposter's balance is magnificent. The delivery is exactly like the previous 5 songs, except for the first 4 to 5 seconds, which made me tense after fully being immersed in Bites. The hook sounds exactly how I imagined this project would be holistically. Indaba Yethu I skipped as a single. The first time hearing it in the project, I fought the urge to get to the next song. Because wow, what a shift. Although primed a bit by Imposter Syndrome, this was huge. Bayatula, and I almost always never understand this part.
Would you give up on us if you had to?
The first time I listened to this project, I played it without looking at the song titles, features, or even running back a track, so I didn't recognize anyone on Kulleg, but I did find it more enjoyable than the previous song. For a bit, I get lost in it and partially forget the project it's on, and I think that's a testament to how well it's made. From kids singing, the sax, particularly at the end, and the way Sino weaves in for the second verse, all works towards the same goal of keeping me from wanting to jump ship. Sequencing is one thing I complain about, but don't truly know how I would tackle it if I were ordered to do so. But whomst ever decided that better place
I know you don't know no better. Still in love with
found here really did something. It's not exactly the copious amounts of sugar Bites dosed out, but it does remind me of what came before the Amapiano and R&B adjacent songs. In all honesty, I thought I'd hate this section the more I listen, but not only has it become part of the project's landscape, some parts have morphed into scenery that I find aesthetically pleasing, more on the production side. Goba, sometimes I drift with the vibe of what's happening more than what's said. Better Place is the linchpin in this section. It gives credence to the entire run. For me, it shows that where we find ourselves isn't due to the features Keed wanted, but the fact that she herself can stand solo while singing and making it work.
Am I good enough? Back when I wanted
Clear as day can seamlessly fit into the first half of the project, but with the linchpin having already switched the mood once, getting into this felt easy, and it does heavily lean towards what kept me captivated through Bites. It seems like the simple maths was off. I write these while listening to the project. Reaching Clear as Day and War in Me has made me realize that these two can fit into the first half of the project, especially Clear as Day. And with War, it goes back to the production slightly changing into the fast-paced Bullets section.
bullets.
This section moves at breakneck speed, although not as fast. War in Me does up the ante, with the tail end coming to a crescendo, with the almost electro drums and synth hitting. And the skits perfectly sums some wars we decide to engage in. This just might be the birth of an artist, not just a rapper that also dabbles in other genres. I say that because what Keed does here is also expected. This part sounds industry appropriate from the drum patterns, delivery, contents, and feel. Umvuzo Wami's 808s and atmospheric lead are borderline common now. with the flow complementing the bounce kulo beat. Save 'em has elements of braggadocio, which center around being better than you. Sort of typical on this kind of instrumental.
They asked how I'm painting my walls, I told them in plaques, nigga.
Maybe I find this part breakneck because I'm not necessarily invested in this section. I too get snobbish, especially when it comes to what I call industry appropriate music. I don't hate it though. This is great. This is great. Okay, this is the emotional center of the project, and its epicenter isn't necessarily trauma, but more of who she was and how she currently is. Self is not truly sight, for self is constantly learning and growing. Yeah, I fucking love the fact that we open with a journey through healing and betterment.
I'm here now.
But better yet is the way we are led through said journey. This entire run reminds me of old school rap with the delivery. She rhymes, shy as a young setup, lands a punchline, and then either repeats the cycle or skips one step just to cycle back again. I wasn't expecting any of what I heard in this section, especially not for a prolonged time.
But twins, catastrophic with my money, baby. Yes, I blew it. You don't get it. Retail therapy is therapeutic. Old problems. You can't stand up for yourself. You got a weak posture. Always having conversations. I keep on feeding them banger on banger. They calling me Keed the cater. Try to remove all this pressure that's weighing on me, but I really can't get it down. My sister, I'm the hottest in the block. Ain't even gonna hold you. I can't even paraphrase it. Evolving in every degrees. I'm running it up. I ain't even graduated. Ain't taking no slippery slopes.
Even if you think Kid would never make music you'd like, please give the first 7 songs a listen.
Bite the bullet.
I might remove the not hip-hop songs as time goes by, just to get a purely hip-hop album, but that's down the line. This thing has 10 credited features, with 2 songs sharing 5 features. That leaves 10 songs that are entirely K-Kid, which means you'll get to hear more of her. And from what I've heard and subsequently understood, these 3 projects work as one body, in parts due to the sequencing, but majorly because Kid has what it takes. 4.02 out of 5. What I expected wasn't disappointing, and what I didn't see coming was a facet I didn't know existed, but am glad I was introduced to. Mina, yes now.